Tecno is a phone manufacturer that's quite popular in Africa, and their new Tecno Camon 18 Premier offers some exciting features. It's got a 120Hz AMOLED screen, and both a periscope zoom and a gimbal stabilized ultra-wide cam. I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's see what this phone is all about in our full review. The Tecno Camon 18 Premier may not be a true flagship phone, but it sure looks premium, with its flat, tempered glass back covered in a silky matte finish. Look a bit closer and you'll notice that the curved, glossy frame is made of plastic, not metal. But still, the overall design is eye-catching, and I like the little details, like the red accent around the ultra-wide cam. The front of the phone is also covered in tempered glass. It's a 6.7-inch AMOLED with a 1080p resolution and a punch hole for the selfie cam. The 120Hz refresh rate makes swiping and scrolling noticeably smoother. There's no support for high frame rate gaming though. It's nice to have an AMOLED for its great contrast and deep blacks. But there are some shortcomings here compared to a flagship screen. There's no HDR support, and colors aren't all that accurate, tending towards bluish. And the brightness of this screen is just okay for an AMOLED. We measured up to a maximum of 425 nits, and there's no additional auto brightness boost on top of that. For audio, the Tecno Camon 18 Premier has a traditional 3.5mm jack for headphones, and there's FM radio support too. There's also a single bottom firing loudspeaker, which was able to earn a rating of good on our loudness charts. Sound quality is unimpressive. The highs are decent, but there's no bass. The phone has something like an always-on display, which shows you time and notifications, but only when you pick up or move the phone. And to wake up and unlock, you can use the side-mounted fingerprint reader built into the power button. It's fast and reliable. The interface of the Camon 18 Premier is Tecno's iOS 8.0 based on Android 11. It features a bunch of proprietary apps, and their own app store. There's also a smart panel which stores shortcuts, and slides out from the edge of the home screen. There's a lot less bloatware here compared to some of Tecno's less expensive phones, and we appreciate that. And storage is expandable through microSD on top of the 256GB built in. At the heart of the Tecno Camon 18 Premier is a Mediatek Helio G96 chipset, built on a 12nm process. Performance-wise, the phone does a decent job, and everyday tasks and lighter games run well. The thermals are respectable too. It's no powerhouse though, and graphics scores fall behind mid-range competitors, including other phones from Tecno. Powering the Tecno Camon 18 Premier is a 4750 mAh battery, and battery life is great. The phone scored a 112-hour endurance rating in our proprietary tests. You also get a 33-watt fast charger in the box, and with it, we were able to charge the phone from 0 to 60% in half an hour. Now onto the Tecno Camon 18 Premier's triple cameras. There's a 64MP quad Bayer main cam, a 12MP ultra-wide with gimbal stabilization, and an 8MP periscope telephoto with 5x optical zoom. Photos from the main cam come out in 16MP, and they're alright. They have good contrast and low noise, true-to-life colors, and dynamic range is good for the most part. However, the detail level is just average, and sometimes the exposure is off. There is a way to get an improved level of detail, and that's if you shoot in the 64MP mode and then downscale the photos to 16MP. It's an extra hoop to jump through though. Portraits are taken with the main cam, and they're good. Subjects are detailed and the separation is proficient, but with the occasional mix-up from time to time. Shots from the ultra-wide have accurate colors, good contrast, well-handled noise, and wide dynamic range. The detail level isn't great though, and the overall picture is soft. Plus, we've seen a wider field of view on other ultra-wides. 5x zoomed photos from the telephoto cam are good. They're detailed enough, with accurate colors and okay dynamic range. Contrast, however, is lower than expected. In low light, photos from the main cam are alright for the class. There's an okay amount of detail despite the aggressive noise reduction and true-to-life colors. Dynamic range is limited though, and shadows are underdeveloped, while the highlights are often clipped. Night mode is available only on the main cam. The effect is pretty unnatural, turning night into day. Colors are punchy and highlights are restored, but there's less contrast and visible artifacts here and there. Low-light shots from the ultra-wide have good colors and contrast, but the level of detail is disappointing because of the heavy noise reduction. The zoom camera isn't very useful at night unless it's a particularly bright scene. In general, the shots come out noisy and blurry. Selfies come out in 8 megapixels and they are good. They're sharp and detailed with good skin tones, plenty of contrast, and okay dynamic range. Now on to video recording, which for some reason maxes out at 1440p on the main cam rather than 4K. This footage is quite good, with nice detail and accurate colors. We aren't fans of the audio quality though. The ultra-wide cam can record in 1080p resolution and the quality is okay, but not great. There are accurate colors, nice contrast, and okay dynamic range, but detail is just average and the sharpening is excessive. 1080p videos from the telephoto camera are likable, with great detail and good colors. Contrast is again unimpressive. Now let's talk about video stabilization, which is one of the major features of the phone. There's no EIS on the main cam, and since there's no hardware stabilization here either, this footage is quite shaky. The gimbal stabilization on the ultra-wide works pretty well. It's not perfect though, with some bigger movements coming through once in a while. If you want extra smoothness from the ultra-wide, there's a super steady mode, which adds EIS to the mix. But because it involves cropping and upscaling, it lowers the video quality. So that's the Tecno Camon 18 Premier. It's the premium offering from Tecno, but price-wise it's more of a mid-ranger. And it brings that snazzy glass design, a large 120Hz AMOLED, good battery life and fast charging, and a versatile set of cameras. Compared to other mid-rangers, this phone does fall behind as far as the chipset goes, and we wish that the camera's processing was better able to take advantage of that impressive hardware. But if you don't mind that, the Camon 18 Premier is a decent all-around package that's worth looking into. Thanks for watching guys, stay safe and see you on the next one.